So when I was talking about the automation and technology, guys, we need to start manufacturing things in Pakistan. We need to stop import dependency. So this is a big thing right now. Do you know how much gap there is between our trade balance? Why there's always a trade deficit? We're exporting about 25 billion, but then importing about 60 billion plus. So there's a $40 billion gap. So there's hardly any country with which Pakistan has a trade surplus. It's always a trade deficit. And this is because we're not focusing on manufacturing in Pakistan. This is what I want all of you to think about. The one thing, aside from everything else I'm telling you to take away, is I want to see more entrepreneurs. We don't need job seekers. There's plenty of job seekers as it is. Unemployment is skyrocketing. We need people who create jobs. And for that, you need to step forward and innovate. I'll tell you how easy it is. You already have established concepts in the world. Europe, US, look at them. They have hundreds of years of history. Pakistan only 70 years. We have a long way to go. Take those tried and tested models and re-implement them in Pakistan. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. Two types of innovation I always talk about: incremental and breakthrough. Incremental is when you take an existing idea and improve upon it based on your local dynamics. And breakthrough is when you come up with an Einstein type of an idea, which something that's never been done before. I'll give you an example. DEPO, Defense Export Promotion, Pakistan. And I'm so proud of this. Do you guys know, the guys that are into weapons, that there's a weapon, a rifle, which can shoot around corners. So if you point it in a corner, it turns the barrel right or left, and there's a screen there. And from the screen, you can see who's behind that corner. You don't have to look over it. The screen does it for you, and the barrel turns. And you press the trigger, and it shoots either 90 degrees to the right, 90 degrees to the left. That gun was invented in Pakistan. And obviously, the world has copied our idea, and now many other companies are manufacturing it. But the innovation is there. Now, that is a breakthrough. But I want you to all work on incremental ideas because it's easier to replicate, re-engineer, which is what China is doing. When I talk about e-commerce, Daraz is a good example. But Daraz is not Pakistan. Daraz is from China. It's owned by Alibaba. What have we come up with Pakistan? So we've come up with a few models like Bikeia, and there's a few others, Swivel, and there's a few others that are working on online. Food Panda is working there. But there's many more. So how do you think brands survived during COVID-19? All these stores, 20, 30, 40, 50 stores that were there with the fixed cost of utilities, rent, staff, they were able to survive because they went online. So brands like AK Studio, which is selling Al-Karam items and selling a lot of other baby clothing. We've got Mango there, we've got Outfitters, we've got Breakout, we've got Sapphire, we've got all these brands locally that were able to move hundreds and thousands of their inventory through delivery through TCS and whatever and whatnot. That's how they were able to survive, and that became an alternative now. So most of the people, because of COVID, are now able to shop online, now prefer to shop online. I mean, it's about 42 degrees out there. Why would you go out there? And you're able to do business with people across Pakistan and globally. We have a lot of people sitting here that may be trading on Amazon now, and Amazon is going to come to Pakistan. E-payment partners like PayPal will come to Pakistan. We've got policy constraints. We are going to move out of these policy constraints, but it's not stopping you, which is why we're talking about crypto, which is why we're talking about metaverse, and we're talking about all these new technologies, blockchain technology, which are going to happen in Pakistan as well. They're happening around the world. There's no reason why they won't happen here. We're a little bit slower, but we will eventually get there. But you need to be prepared, be ready, be aware. If you say to yourself, this is never going to happen in Pakistan, and I'm telling you, it will tomorrow, and you're not going to be ready for it. One thing I always advocate is there's a lot of obstacles in Pakistan, but I consider every obstacle as an opportunity. I was talking in the Veets Hub right now, and despite the whole political instability, it hasn't changed any of my plans. Today, this morning, I was at a groundbreaking ceremony for a new project that we're doing in Diplomatic Enclave. I've got another 4 more high-rises we're planning towards Taj Residencia, and there's 3 more major projects happening in Centaurs. We're finishing our 5-star hotel, which is due for completion within a year's time. We're extending the shopping malls, so for those of you who love shopping, there's going to be another 400,000 square feet leasable area with a lot of new brands. And we're adding another tower. You remember that triangular prism-shaped tower? That's going to be started next year. So it doesn't affect us. You know why? Governments will come and go. The business community and the citizens of Pakistan will remain. So it's our stake, our neck, and our generations which we're talking about. We're not talking about the others. So it's irrelevant who is in power, because it's us who's going to drive the economy. It's us who's going to add value. The private sector is what builds countries. It's not the governments. The governments give policies. The investment and employment is created through the private sector. So moving back to innovation, e-commerce and technologies. Why can't we do it in Pakistan? Do you guys know that Pakistan's only exporting about $2 billion worth of software? Do you know how much India is exporting? 136 billion. Okay, I know, they're much bigger than us. A lot more people, a lot more human resource. But guys, we can at least get to 10 billion, 15 billion easily. We already have software houses here in I-9 that are supplying services to Amazon. We've got companies like Johns Hopkins, the hospitals, they're doing billing. We've got a company in Kashmir by the name of MTBC. They've got 3,000 employees there, and they're providing services to hospitals, billing services to hospitals in the US, in Azad Kashmir, in Bagh. So the incentives are there. Now we're working with the government for the STZs. There's already STZs, special economic zones, but the special technology zones need to be set up to give incentive to technology companies to focus on starting new ideas. So the app development. You know, we've got Oculus now, right? Facebook. They came out with a device called Oculus. Everyone said that it's a software company. But then they created a hardware. They diversified. And look how successful that is in terms of virtual reality. It's a beautiful device. You can watch movies on it. You can interact on it. You can play games on it. And I'll tell you why I was talking about crypto so much. Iran is a good example. It has sanctions. We're not able to do direct cash transactions as in many parts of the world, but crypto is a gray area. Crypto can be used to trade. And I'll tell you why I'm saying this. When I went to Turbat, it's about 2.5 hours flight from here towards Gwadar. What's funny is 600,000 individuals are living there, 6,000 populations there. Not a single business is from Pakistan. The bakeries are being supplied bakery items through Iran. The grocery stores are being supplied grocery items from Iran. I was like, so where's the Pakistani businessmen in this? Pakistanis have not even gone towards Turbat and Balochistan. 40% of Pakistan remains in that area and it's unexplored. So what are we doing? And when I talk about trade, crypto was one. When I met with the ambassador from Iran, I said that if we can do cash transactions, why can't we do it through crypto? It's online. And even though the state bank doesn't regulate, if I have got money in Dubai, I've got money elsewhere that I can have it sent over to trade goods, it's doable. There's always a way out, but that's where innovation comes in. So every obstacle also has an opportunity with it. Think of it differently. Think out of the box. This is why I keep telling people, don't get so bogged down. Disconnect yourself, move back. When you move away from something, it gives you perspective. You're able to see in a very different angle. And there's something I always tell people, if you've got no one to discuss with the walls. Get opinions. Think with others. There's always dialogue and discussion you can have. And another important thing with Turbat, and some facts I want you to know about Pakistan. Do you have any idea how much resources we have in this country? Guys, we are the 5th largest producers of mangoes in the world. We have the 5th largest reserve of minerals and gems in the world. We have the 5th largest reserves of cotton in the world. Sugarcane. 7th largest reserve of wheat, production of wheat. And if you look at the others, the rice and all these, we're in the top 10. So in terms of production capability, we have everything we need. What we need is value addition. And that comes through transfer of technology. And that's what's needed in Pakistan. And that's where you come in. You have the innovative ideas. I'll give you an example. I was at the SME college from NUST last week. And I met 2 students, which is what Bahria does as well. We have these innovative ideas where we try to commercialize concepts. So there were 2 concepts which I really like, and I'm going to help them commercialize those. I met these students. They came out with this device which can identify the maturity stage of a mango. So you can tell if the mango is 90% ready, 100% ready, or it's overdone. And that device is costing about 2.5 million rupees if you import it. They've invented it for about 250,000. They can retail for about 400,000 rupees. It was a sold item. To me, it was sold because if I sell this to the Multan manufacturers of mangoes, imagine how much more efficient they're going to become. Another area, cold storage. We're wasting most of our production because it's wasted because we don't have enough cold storage. So by the time it transports, by the time we're able to airlift it, it's all gone. To generate about $50 to $60 billion annually. So imagine how much potential there is in the sector where there's nothing at the moment. So imagine you guys setting up boutique properties or boutique services, consultancy for designing hotels, resorts, or even restaurants for that matter. I mean, do you know food is one thing we love and we're very good at it. And the diverse range from Karachi to all the way to north, you've seen how many delicacies we have here. So why aren't we able to capitalize on this? Because we don't have faith. You need to have faith in this country. Look at all the opportunities there are across the spectrum and the diverse range of products and services that there are. We should not be a service-driven country. We're an industry. We should be an industry-driven country. Focus on industrialization. Focus on production. Focus on human resource, the inexpensive human resource that you are and we have. This is the future of Pakistan. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to go over the time limit. I know there's more speakers, but on this forum, if there's any questions or concerns, tell me. I promise you, if I don't win your faith back, you can change my name. Because I am a Pakistani, I'm a very proud Pakistani, and I'm always going to be. There's one thing I want you to all say with me. I want to hear this, so I know that you have faith. Say it with me. Together we can. Together we will. Make Pakistan better than it ever was. हम सब मिलके इस बेहतरीन मुल्क को और भी बेहतर बनाएंगे. पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद.